Welcome to Goosebumps. Glad you're here. It's getting scary, right? A dummy walking on its own, talking on its own. Holy cow. Got me frightened. Remember to answer those questions with complete sentences as we join chapters 23 and chapter 24 of R.L. Stine's Slappy World. Slappy Birthday to you. All right, let's get started with chapters 23 and 24. The hall light flashed on. Ian lowered his phone and squinted down the stairs at his dad. Not Slappy, his dad, in his maroon bathrobe, his hair wild about his head from sleep. Halfway down the stairs, Dad, Ian stammered. I thought, Mr. Barker turned. Ian, were you walking around? I thought I heard someone walking around upstairs. I came to investigate. I heard something too, Ian said. It woke me up. I thought it was footsteps in... What on earth? Mr. Barker cried. He pointed. Look, the front door is wide open. Ian's heart began to pound in his chest. He grabbed the banister, squeezing it tightly in his clammy hand. It's Slappy, he said. Mr. Barker frowned. This isn't a good time for your Slappy stories, he said. He turned and hurried down the remaining stairs and crossed the hall to the front door. Dad, listen to me. Ian followed. He stepped up beside him, and gazed out the open door. The sliver of the moon hung low in its purple sky. Ian saw Molly's scooter on its side, beside the driveway. A rabbit stood frozen on its hind legs near the curb, its ears straight up, black eyes glowing. No one else out there. It's Slappy, Dad. You have to believe me. I heard him leave my room. Mr. Barker put a hand on Ian's shoulder. You what? It woke me up. I heard him walking out of the hallway. He isn't there, Dad. I closed him in my closet. I made sure the door was shut, but he's gone. Mr. Barker pushed the front door closed and turned the lock. The dummy isn't in your closet. Ian shook his head. No, he's gone. Ian's dad scratched his head. There's got to be an explanation. Yes, there is, Dad, Ian said. Slappy is alive. He's alive and he's dangerous, and he's out prowling the neighborhood on his own. Slappy here, guys. Smart kid, that Ian. He spoke the truth. Slappy is alive and he's dangerous. I couldn't describe myself any better if I tried. It's about time Mr. Barker caught on. Don't you agree? He's not exactly the brightest crayon in the box. I don't want to say he is dumb, but tell me why his IQ is the same number as his belt size. Of course, what do you expect? The man spends all his time playing with dolls. He didn't pay much attention to me when I was in the doll hospital. I don't think he appreciated how cute I am. I'm better than cute. You might even say I'm a living doll. Well, I hope you're enjoying this story as much as I am. I like a story where the humans are totally confused about what is going on. Who's the dummy in this story? It ain't me, dudes. Let's change the scene now. We'll leave Ian and his dad scratching their heads at the front door, and let's move a few blocks away. Yes. That little brick house is where Johnny and Vinny live. Why don't we see what those two lovable rascals are up to? It might actually surprise even you. Chapter 24. Vinny slapped his brother on the back. Way to go, Johnny. Johnny slapped him back. Way to go, Vinny. The two boys bumped knuckles. They slapped high fives. They did a hard chest bump. That left them both breathless. Then they did a crazy dance all around their bedroom, laughing and giggling. A major celebration. Slappy stared at them blankly from where they had propped him up on Vinny's bed. The dummy sat lifelessly, arms hanging limply down at his sides. The boys shared a room in the back of their house. There was only enough space for the two twin beds and a small dresser. The boys shared a laptop computer that sat on a card table against one wall. Vinny picked up Slappy and raised him to raised him till they were face to face. "Welcome to our house, dummy," he said. "Guess what? You've been kidnapped." That made both the boys howl with laughter. They bumped Knuckles again. Then they raised Slappy's wooden hand and bumped Knuckles with him. "Ian won't have a clue," Johnny said. Vinny chuckled. "He's such a dweebo. He'll probably think the dummy walked out on his own." He lowered Slappy until the dummy's brown leather shoes touched the floor. "Go ahead, dummy. Let's see you walk." He moved the dummy along the floor. "Come on. Aren't you going to walk fast for us, Slappy?" Ian believed that lame story about magic words that bring the dummy to life, Johnny said, shaking his head. "The guy probably believes the Easter Bunny, too." "Whatever you do," Vinny said, "don't tell him there's no tooth fairy. You'll break his little heart. He'll freak out." That made the boys laugh some more. "Hey, what's all that racket?" Their father's voice came from the bedroom next to theirs. "Nothing," Johnny shouted back. "It's very late," Mr. Harding groaned. "What are you doing?" "Nothing. Just kidnapping a dummy," whispered Vinny, grinning at his brother. "Well, I'm going to sleep, so be quiet in there," their father called. "Tomorrow is Sunday. You can mess around all day, but let your mother and me get some sleep." "No problem," Vinny shouted through the wall. He sat Slappy down on the floor. "Ian will probably be looking for him all night," he said, shaking his head. "He'll have his whole family out searching for a living dummy." "Leaving the front door open was brilliant," Johnny said. "It was your idea," Vinny told him. Johnny grinned. "I know. That's why it was brilliant." "Ian will be totally confused. His brain will explode." "What a dummy," Johnny said. They both hee-hawed at that. They fell asleep, still giggling over their wonderful crime they'd committed. They woke up a little after 9 the next morning. Vinny grinned when he saw Slappy on the floor beside his bed. "I thought maybe I dreamed that we kidnapped him," he said. "No, we really did it," Johnny replied, still yawning from sleep. Vinny lifted Slappy onto his lap and slipped the hand into his back. He made the dummy's mouth slide up and down. "Hello, boys and ghouls," he made Slappy say in a tiny voice. "I'm a dummy. What about you?" "You're moving your lips," Johnny said. "You're not doing it right. Here, give him to me." Johnny lifted Slappy off his brother's lap. He shoved his hand into the dummy's back. He made the eyes dart from side to side. "I found the eye controls. Cool," Johnny said. He made the mouth work, the wooden lips clicking together. "Vinny rhymes with skinny," he made the dummy say. "Vinny isn't skinny. He's about as skinny as a cow." "Not funny," Vinny said, tugging Slappy away from his brother. "Not funny, and you moved your lips." "Give me a chance," Johnny said. He grabbed the dummy's hand and tried to pull it back. "I need to practice." "You need to let go," Vinny said. He shook a fist at his brother, and Johnny lifted his hand from the dummy. "What do you think Ian is doing right now?" Vinny said. "Probably hiding under his bed, terrified the living dummy will come back to get him." They both laughed. Vinny set the dummy down on his bed. "We should send him a ransom note," Vinny said. "A ransom note?" "You know, make him pay to get his precious dummy back," Vinny said. "How much should we ask for?" $1,000,000, Johnny replied. Vinny laughed. "No, that's not enough. How about 5 million?" They started to laugh again, but they both stopped short when Slappy raised his head. The dummy's eyes slid back and forth, then stopped on the two startled boys. "Had you fun, punks?" Slappy rasped. "Now it's my turn. Are you ready to enter a world of pain?" "Ooh, world of pain, here we come." All right, answer your questions. Complete sentences, capital, period. See you tomorrow for chapter 25 and 26.